Please welcome to the stage your 3D Experience World 2024 host, Tracy Wilson.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, thanks for being here. If you were here before, welcome back. And if you've been to all three, welcome back. You know. We have a jam-packed final session for you today covering all things manufacturing. So to help us set the stage and discuss the importance of diversity in manufacturing, please welcome Senior Communications Manager for 3D Experience Works, Barb Schmitz, and her fantastic panel.
Hi everyone, we're so happy to have you here to talk a little bit about manufacturing. We're so excited. I'm going to set the stage a little bit with some daunting statistics. We kind of all know the situation we're in, but you know, by 2028 there's going to be 2.4 million unfilled manufacturing jobs. Why do we care? That comes to a cost of, by 2030, $1 trillion. During the pandemic, half of manufacturers were not able to retain the skilled talent that they need coming out of the pandemic. Things have only really gotten worse. So I've got a great panel of experts here today, and we're going to discuss the ways in which things might improve. Obviously not in the short term, but over the long term, and what needs to happen. So I want everyone to take a minute just to introduce yourselves. Sean, you want to start us off?
Hi, I'm Sean Patterson. I've been a machinist and a CNC programmer for 35 years, and up until about a year and a half ago, I became a CAM AE for GSC. Kind of new for me. This stuff is a little bit new for me because I've always just been in the shop, but.
That's awesome. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Drew Crow. I was a teenage father and two-time felon whose life was pretty much saved from advanced manufacturing jobs. I've held every shop job, starting from the saw all the way up to, you know, running multiple shops like John Deere and Caterpillar. I spend my time these days teaching and helping build equitable solutions to bring more youth and diversity into advanced manufacturing careers.
Thanks, Drew. Anisa?
Hello, I'm Anisa Mathanna, and I started on the shop floor at age 11, started running machines at age 13. Some girls had Barbie dolls. I had a centerless grinder. I ended up leaving the family business in 1993, going into partnership with my uncle, and I am the CEO of Pioneer Service. And 29 years later, I'm back at the family business as well, and I am also the CEO of M&M Quality Grinding. Happy to be here.
Hi everyone, I'm Megan Zimba. I'm an industrial tech writer because I suck at math. And I get engineers to share their stories with me so that I can connect them to the rest of the world. I'm also host of Mavens of Manufacturing, which is a live video broadcast series to get the next generation of women really excited about joining engineering and manufacturing career pathways.
Awesome, thank you. So obviously we've got a great panel here coming from very diverse backgrounds. We get a good feel for where we go from here.
Good job, Barb.
Yeah, took some stalking on LinkedIn, but I did it. So the first question, Drew, maybe I ask this of you.
Okay.
How can education and training programs in manufacturing be more inclusive and accessible to underrepresented populations of people?
Great question. I think we've got to be honest about how some of these marginalized communities are dealing on a day-to-day, right? Most of their schools don't have a funded CTE department, and most of them don't really have an idea of what we do in our field and then how to connect the students themselves to these opportunities. So I say as manufacturers, let's start being intentional and let's look at, you know, the communities that we're in, and let's help build that bridge or be that bridge to connect those communities to these institutions of workforce training and higher education. as a former department lead at a technical college for the Advanced Manufacturing and Engineering program, I made sure that we were very present in every career day, in every career fair, in those schools that don't typically have high enrollment in our program. So look at the zip codes where you're not getting the kids. If you walk outside of your building on your way home and you see that outside of your doors looks different than inside of your doors, start reaching out to those communities, help them build equitable solutions. If you have an extra machine or 3D printer or even time to go into these schools and be a subject matter expert, you can start building those connections right away, and that's an immediate ROI. The last thing I'm going to say is collaboration. There are a lot of groups right now that are working with marginalized communities, and they're helping with job placement. In St. Louis, where I'm from, there's a place called Rung for Women, and they typically just work with women and help them with IT jobs. But if we're vocal and we go to these places and say, hey, a lot of those career skill sets can also work in advanced manufacturing, here's the jobs that you can start training for, then we can start to fill our ranks with those same groups that we're missing right now.
Megan, you work with kids a lot too. What do you think is kind of like that key ingredient where it makes sense for kids to spark that interest in manufacturing?
I think manufacturers need to be more proactive and be better cheerleaders for the sector. So kids aren't going to know what to pursue if they know nothing about it. And I've talked to several communities where they didn't even know major manufacturers existed in their backyard. So make sure that you're making an event out of it. Open up your doors, put flyers out, invite the community, invite the kids' parents as well too, because not all adults like their job, and I know some adults who have changed career pathways because of it. Go to their schools, talk to them, help start a robotics team, be the mentor, be the coach. A lot of the communities that don't have the right funding or the resources are struggling to get that mentorship and get that coaching. And yes, it's volunteering, yes, it's going to take up your time, but this is something that we need if we want to close the gaps that are in our workforce and continue building and being makers.
Right, right.
Real quick, especially if you start local. If you start local, we talk about that ROI, but at a lot of these technical schools, there are co-op programs where they go to school and then they work for a company. And if you made that first introduction via, sponsoring a first robotics team or just coming into a high school and talking about 3D printing or the different things that we do, CAD, CAM even, students are going to remember that. And when it's time to get, into an internship or start working, now you started building that pipeline for yourself and you're on their mind when it's time to choose.
Sponsor them to come to a trade show.
Yes.
That's what I did in 2022, and the kids love me for that. So they actually contacted me this year and can you do it again? And I'm like, yeah, I'll make it happen.
Oh, that's awesome. Anisa, you're as a leader of a company, how much of responsibility is on the company, and what can companies do to foster a more diverse, inclusive environment?
Treat your employees good. That's first. I think that as far as outreach is concerned, I think anyone that has a CNC shop, machine shop in general, has a responsibility to give back to the community. And I think it's good practice. It's good marketing. It's attracting new people. There's nothing bad that can go from that.
It's a win-win.
It's a win for everything. And also, I think with your current team, knowing whether or not you have a diverse team or not, word of mouth, social media, like Megan said, invite schools over and host. I had an intern that came, or actually someone that visited as a 7th grader that ended up being an intern years later, 3 years in a row, who wants to work for us. So obviously he liked what he saw and he continued. And so that's a testament not to me, but to my team, because it's important that before we talk about diversity and come up with these initiatives and say we want to do this and that, get your team together, make sure everyone's engaged and you're on the same page. Don't work in silos. That doesn't work in any type of initiative, let alone DEI or bringing in, students. Or I had a guy that used to tell me, do you want me to babysit or you want me to run parts? And I'm like, you can go home now. So, obviously you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that the understanding and communication, but he kept pushing back, pushing back, pushing back. And outreach is part of our values. It's something that we all do. You know, it starts with me. You know, I go and I host, and I go and I mentor. You know, my Sundays, every Sunday is spent an hour every Sunday mentoring. And it's a commitment that I've put out there. And not everyone is a manufacturer, but I'm getting more advocates of manufacturing because they now know what I do, and they can be my mouthpiece talking outside of their four walls, telling them how wonderful manufacturing is and how diverse it is.
That's awesome. You're paying it forward.
Yeah.
Which is great. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just...
Oh, okay.
agree with-
I'm sorry, Sean, you have probably seen a lot of changes in the manufacturing environment over your many decades. What do you have to say to all this? How do you think your manufacturing space would be different, being more inclusive? And, you know, what have you seen over the years in terms of changes?
I've seen all kinds of changes. It's almost hard to put it all in just a short few sentences. I've seen people change over the decades. I've seen business owners change over the decades, good, bad. I've been doing this for 35 years. I've never not had a job. I've been involved in layoffs, companies shutting down. I could get a job within a week. In this kind of industry, you can keep a job your entire life. But sometimes I didn't like it, but I went to work every day. And I did the best I could. I taught what I knew. I learned, a lot of times I learned while I was teaching. Because I learned early on never to lie. When I was young, if I told somebody wrong on purpose, because I didn't want to feel, you know, oh, I don't want to be blamed or pointed at or feel dumb. That really hurt everybody, because if I told them what I did, right or wrong, they could help me figure out what I did wrong, and I could learn from that. And it just helped the business. We continued on with our project, but there's a lot of aspects.
So it's your responsibility to pay it forward, to help the next generation.
Absolutely.
Of manufacturers.
I've trained hundreds and hundreds of people over my days, and love doing so. If they're willing to learn, I'm willing to teach them what I know, and I don't know everything, but the more they know and we know as a team, the better we work, and our jobs are a little more secure. They know a little more. When I was a supervisor the first time, my crew was a third smaller than the first shift crew, but I went to the company and I went to my employees and I said, hey, if the company, would you pay for half their time if they stayed over an hour or two a night and let me put on a class? And there was several of them were women. And just say it, because they were great operators, but I ended up teaching them to be machinists as well, and they understood what they were doing. And before long, the first shift supervisor was coming to me going, how are you putting out better quality and more parts than I am? I said, I'm teaching my people. We're working as a team. And it makes a big impact. And I'm hoping those people went on to, I'm sorry, I get emotional about that stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's very important to me as a machinist, because I see it. I went for years and didn't see anybody. They come and go. They won't stay. They didn't want to learn. And this is a government political thing. This is a home thing. This is an industry thing. It's all the attributes are involved. Just because you got laid off doesn't mean you stay on that for 6 months. Go get a job. Right. Get back to it. Get back on the horse and keep going. But it's just too easy to stay home and collect unemployment. And that's sad, but it's the culture we've made. And then on that same note, industry said, I want more automation, more automation. Well, the more automation you have, the less you can teach. And that created a whole bunch of I'm unfortunately part of a small group of people that knows this stuff, and then there's this huge gap to a bunch of young people that now want to learn, but finding it hard to get into. Right. I followed a group of people who didn't like to teach because it was tribal knowledge, and they didn't want to share because they didn't want you taking your job, so they keep it close to their chest. And I just didn't want to be that way. I want to share. I'll share everything I know because it makes us all better.
Absolutely.
Can I say?
Yes.
So this is the type of person that you want as a mentor. Work ethics. He has paved the way for all of us. So first and foremost, thank you, Sean. And you're so humble. But also, when we talk about DEI, I don't know if you guys were in my earlier talk, but when we talk about DEI, we need to include Sean, not exclude him. And that's when I said to Barbara, she did a great job. I meant, like, she pretty much checked off every box. And I don't know if that was her intention, but I know that everyone up here is credible and that bring value. So, thank you.
Well, thanks for being here. It's a great conversation to have, and one I hope continues after this is over, over the next year, because it has to. So when a company does have a program, a diversity program, what do you think is a best practice? What works? What doesn't work? I mean, companies have been trying. I mean, what sticks? What makes it resonate for these people?
I think for me, a lot of companies are doing a good job trying to get our industry in front of people. A lot of them are doing things like, higher wages, benefits package, all of those things, but those things will get you in the door, but having people stay is all about culture. Right. And when you have a culture that is inclusive, that is hoping to empower you and give you the mobility that you want, no matter what you look like, it's based on merit. That's a culture that says, I belong here and I matter here, and as long as I do the things that are asked of me, then I will be able to move up and climb, and my voice can be heard and be bigger.
They want to see that path forward.
They want to have a clear path forward and then have somebody that will help them get there, right? You don't just push somebody out of a plane without a parachute or without, an instructor, right? A lot of times when you jump, there has to be somebody with you, right? And this is the same way. The problem I think that has been going on is, we're not finding mentors that represent everybody, right? Or that can help everybody and is willing. And I think once we do that and we start changing the culture inside of our shops, then that's what's going to help us retain people and then enable them to go higher.
This was awesome. I really appreciate you all being here. This was a great conversation, and like I said, let's keep the work up. We've got a lot of work to do, right? All right.
Thank you for having us.
All right.
Thank you, thank you. There's so much more to continue to talk about. That was, Barb, that was fantastic, and thank you for just starting the conversation. Each one of you have so much value to add to this conversation. That was really wonderful. Thank you. Teach your people. It's good. Okay, so let's hear more about the future of digital manufacturing and how solutions from DelmiaWorks can help customers create a single digital thread from design all the way through to manufacturing. So please welcome to the stage Vice President DelmiaWorks R&D, Trevor Deal.
Yeah! All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Manufacturing in the Mainstream with 3DEXPERIENCE Works. You've paid for your whole seat, but you'll only need the edge of it. I'm Trevor Deal, head of DelmiaWorks R&D. Click. I'm extremely happy to be with you here today for the manufacturing domain session of 3DEXPERIENCE Works and World. This is, in my personal opinion, the most important topic I'm here to discuss. It's humble and unbiased and not at all out of whack for me. Right? I'm happy because not only are we here together to talk about it, but because without manufacturing, your designs have nowhere to go. So I'm going to start with a little background about where we're at and where we're headed. Let's talk about manufacturing in general. Industrial revolutions have defined human history. It started by harnessing the power of water and steam in the first industrial revolution. Then it was about electrifying production processes in the second, and introducing computing across many industries in the third revolution. Now, Industry 4.0 may be defined as the introduction of smart technologies, artificial intelligence, and seamless networks on the shop floor. So now, you're undoubtedly asking yourselves, and not just because it's on the slide, how do we fit in? Where am I going with this? What am I even talking about? Well, at Dassault Systems, we prefer to define the next generation of manufacturing systems by the value they bring to your businesses. And we always put you people, not you people, but you as people at the center. We define ourselves as the enabler for sustainable operations in 3 dimensions. First, we aim at providing the best collaboration aid in building knowledge and know-how to capitalize it on to train the next generation, just like what the stage just talked about. We want to make it so that it's easy to train your new employees and get them going as fast as you can. Second, we want to help you be more efficient, more sustainable, more cost-effective. We want you to be able to boost production efficiency, reduce waste, improve energy consumption, and more. Third, we know how important customers and suppliers relationships are for sustainable business growth. You can't grow your business without customers and suppliers, folks. It's true. Turns out that it's a whole network. And we want to make sure that you can manage those relationships all comfortably and with ease and make them grow as fast as you can. And we accomplish all of this with a suite of solutions that range from ERP to MES and everything in between. So when you think about it, ERP and MES, these systems are the virtual twin of your entire business. From the shop floor all the way to the top floor, and as previously mentioned, everything in between. We're taking the virtual twin of your whole process from design to manufacture, all in one place, all in one single continuum of your business, from ideas to design to shipping and getting paid for your parts, because let's face it, we're here to make money, right? So who does this help? Let's talk about the kind of folks that we're supporting and making this happen. Folks like all of us. So it's not just a continuum of your businesses, but the continuum of who you all are. And I'm lucky. I get to highlight this all just from the main stage from last year's 3D Experience World in Nashville, with people doing the real work of making the physical things that go around us and everything we're doing in the world. The goal is to help everyone along all stages of their growth, from a one-person business, from a person with an idea and a dream, and maybe just a 3D printer and a CNC machine or a CNC machine, growing to larger shops with gaining influence and more production, all the way to large multi-site businesses that have grown from that small shop with aspirations all the way to the pinnacle of manufacturing prowess. So how on earth are we doing all this? How do we actually make this happen? You've been seeing all the design solutions, but how can we help you turn those design dreams into a manufactured reality? Boy howdy, I got some cool stuff for you guys. With all these values in mind, the whole industrial renaissance in mind, everything that we talked about, we have built a complete portfolio of solutions to support you. On the equipment side, we provide simulation and programming of a wide range of equipment, from NC machines and CAM software and beyond. Our CAM solution provides associativity with Solidworks, CAD, and brings a high-fidelity virtual shop floor to the NC programmer. With our robotics role, Solidworks users can imagine all the possibilities of engineering a robot work cell through every step, from work cell to plant layout to teaching and simulation, as well as all the work cell validation and the offline programming of robots. Pretty cool, huh? We have factory layout definition and factory simulation that enable you to use the 3D point cloud to scan your existing facility as a way to initiate the layout and to start re-engineering your entire production process. Within this virtual factory context, it is easy to explore and test alternatives when considering the introduction of new equipment. Changing layouts or even modifying new worker assignments and shifts is all possible in this virtual twin. From a manufacturing process point of view, we support functionalities from bill of material and bill of process authoring to fully integrated edge-to-edge manufacturing ERP, and all of this with a strong focus on collaboration through the 3D Experience platform and dedicated roles such as 3D Lean, boosting teamwork both on-site and remotely, because let's face it, the world's changed. Remote is a thing now. So that's what we got, and that's really cool. But where are we going next? Well, welcome to the world of tomorrow! I've been waiting to do that all day, seriously. Well, I'm gonna tell you, we're getting the band back together, and we're putting this show on the road. We have an unprecedented opportunity to do something that no one else is doing. No one in the world is doing this. We're going to provide a solution that seamlessly ties together the 3D Experience Works portfolio and serve everyone in the mainstream, from 1 to 1,000 plus machines and processes, and provide a place to grow from a person with, for example, a 3D printer and a dream, all the way up to a large multi-site pinnacle of manufacturing prowess production facility, bespoke to manufacturing in one single continuum across your entire business life. So what does that look like? Let's take a look. Roll tape.
Welcome to the Business and Manufacturing Operations Experience on the platform. We start with a request for quote. A potential customer brings in a new part they want made. You analyze and validate the design, ensuring the part can be built as submitted, eliminating downstream build issues. Once validated, an MBOM is automatically created for the design. The correct parts are associated to the drawing from stock. ensuring an accurate material cost for the quote. Processes are assigned to the BOM next, bringing in the correct price for machine time and labor, building out a 100% accurately priced BOM. A 100% accurately priced quote is generated automatically from the precisely priced BOM, keeping your prices lean and your company in the green. The customer is stunned by how fast the turnaround time was and immediately accepts. The quote now won, it evolves into a sales order. The status is of all steps visible in the sales order hub. A shopping list is generated from the bill of material, allowing you to rapidly check status on needed parts for the order and order them if they're missing. A multiple person process streamlined to a single user. Next, NC machine programming is generated, so you are rapidly ready to start producing the customer's desired part despite any complexity. From there, the sales order evolves and a work order is made for all necessary components and the final assembly. Intelligent scheduling is directly accessible from the hub and trackable back to the work order. From there, the sales order evolves and a work order is made for all necessary components and the final assembly. Intelligent scheduling is directly accessible from the hub and trackable back to the order. As soon as the product is produced, it can be checked for quality and made ready for shipment. All the shipping information automatically provided direct from the sales order and quote. Once shipped, an invoice is generated, allowing even a small shop to perform like a much larger one, gaining new customers and growing successfully, all thanks to the 3DEXPERIENCE platform.
That's it, everybody. That is the continuum. That is every part of your business in one single hub. That's combining multiple pieces of the entire 3DEXPERIENCE Works portfolio into one seamless whole. That is the ability to grow your business from one person with a 3D printer dream all the way up to a large company, all with one home for your data, one home for your information, one home for your entire company. Thank you, everyone. And at the risk of being absolutely groan-inducing, I'm going for it. I have to say it because I believe it. The future is so bright, we've got to wear shades. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. Well done. Or should I say, Trevor, thank you. I should have come on with shades, right? That'd have been so good. All right. Next up, we will hear from customers in different parts of their industry journey to Industry 4.0 transformation. From a customer who is just starting out, Highland Vans, an innovator in the field of customized camper vans, to a company we met last year, Balin Manufacturing, who will share an update on their progress. To lead the conversation, please welcome to the stage partner sales manager Mike Buckley.
It's going to be a hard act to follow, but we're going to try to make this happen here. So just bear with us for a second. So Simon, you guys do really cool stuff. Tell us a little bit about Highland Vans and what it is that you guys do.
Thank you. Yeah, Highland Vans is an adventure camper van conversion company. So we essentially take your basic commercial contractor van and we upfit it to be this super cool rugged off-road machine that you can take up a mountain, through creeks and rivers, and live off-grid. We put in upgraded suspension, bigger tires, solar panels, ACs, full battery bank systems, plumbing systems, and essentially make a compact RV inside these really cool off-road rigs.
So that's really amazing. Being a person living in a van down by the river has changed a little bit over the years, right? So when we start talking about the process you went through being a 3DEXPERIENCE Solidworks customer in Delmia, talk a little bit about how that's helping you be successful.
So when we originally started the company, we built our first van in our driveway, in our home garage, and we had to cut each part by hand, manually kind of shaping it to each curve and shape of the van. And through 3DEXPERIENCE, we were able to utilize these professional tools and software to program our CNC machines to cut and easily assemble multiple vans within a year.
Okay, so you mentioned to me when we were talking over there on the side that part of what you do is you scan it and then you're taking those panels and the key really is being able to reuse that. So when we start talking about the reuse of data, how is it working as far as leveraging the platform to find the right pieces?
The platform is super helpful. We're able to store and organize all of our parts and components into a structured process where we can easily replicate multiple vans and kind of assembly line build. So back then when we were, it took us months to build, or almost half a year to build one van. Now we're able to build up to 2 vans in a month.
Wow, that's pretty darn impressive. That's a pretty good ROI of throughput, right? So when we start talking about being able to incorporate nesting and things like that, breaking all that stuff down, you guys do a lot of stuff with routers. So how has that process been able to be improved?
In terms of, what do you mean with that?
So I stumped him. I win the day. So we're starting talking about throughput and process, like being able to nest all those on one sheet and being able to cut everything out the same. Does that make it easier for you to order material?
Oh yeah, using the nesting software and capability of that, we're really quickly to, be very efficient with our sheets of material. So, you can cut hundreds of tiny parts within one sheet.
Okay. So that helps as far as being able to order the right stuff and get everything through throughput. So if we look at all the cool things that you do in the vans and the process, like what's the future look like, as far as, being a partner with Dassault Systems?
Yeah, being a partner, with the software and the team, we were able to get training within all aspects of the process, and the vision is that we're able to maintain that partnership and grow the company to be a leader within the industry and pump out hundreds of vans a year.
Which is a pretty big step from starting in a garage, right?
Right.
So as far as Simon and what they do at Highland Vans, if you want to see some really cool stuff with manufacturing and all the good things that they're doing, please look him up afterwards and come talk to him. It is some of the coolest stuff that I've seen, and the technology they're using is amazing. Simon, thank you so much for being up on stage. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Everybody, round of applause. Come on, Simon. So, as Tracy mentioned, we're going to check in with a customer who was up on stage last year. So last year we had Balin Manufacturing up on stage. They were actually talking about factory flow simulation and adopting Industry 4.0. And through that, we caught up with them about a month or so ago. So we're going to go ahead and play that footage. And again, we can't keep up with Trevor, but we're going to play the footage. And then if you guys have any questions, please come by the shop floor. We have more in-depth discussions about what they're doing.
My grandfather always used to say, our job is simple, to give the customers what they want, no matter what it is. And that really defines us today.
That's not the right video.
Other companies might produce a product here and there, but at Acme,
that's not the right video.
We make everything, literally.
That's not the right video.
As you can imagine,
that's
our
not the right
product
video.
portfolio is extremely robust.
Okay.
And of course, this can present significant engineering challenges. But whether
Okay, that's about, yeah, that's it. That was a little short.
Balin is really a diversified company. We do industrial products, and we build buildings, we build the beams, build all the panels, steel work. We do a lot of welding on that aspect. We also do grain bins and custom fab work, all the way down to livestock handling equipment, livestock gates, stock tanks. Just really diversified in the product that we produce.
So our culture ties into innovation with the continuous improvement aspect, 100%. We're bringing automation in, we're bringing new ideas in. I mean, lean has been tried before, but we've created a whole new group to start our lean journey, to go in our new path. With our lean journey, we're looking at Focus Factory. We're looking at Manufacturing 4.0. We're looking at Industry 4.0. What tools can we bring to the table that we haven't used before? So by innovating, we keep up to date, we keep up with our competition and our competitors, and we keep our family whole.
A lot of my job entails looking at new equipment to bring new equipment in. We also do a lot of work with plant layouts. We have approximately about 900,000 square foot of space out here. With the 3-4 business units that we have, space over time gets occupied. And so it's not as simple as just move an item in and put it there. A lot of times we need to keep that equipment running while we try to bring something in. And how do we take that and maximize what we have for space overall? You have to stay up with everything from your Solidworks technologies to robotics. If you can find it and you have the ability to learn it, learn it. I never would have thought that I would have been doing the stuff I'm doing on computer now, you know, working with 3D modeling, being able to show that visual, and that's the easiest thing I keep coming back to. There's a lot of people that don't see in 3D. They can understand I move a box, but when you can actually show something in 3D and you show movement to something, the thought process of where the future is, using virtual reality goggles to actually put yourself into that scene.
We saw it for the first time at community college. What is this? Okay, so you went in and you made this like a video game. No, this is an actual plant. So what do you do with it? Oh, we can simulate this process, and then we can, if we tweak it this way, or we turn the machine this way, or we put the person here, we take these steps out, then we can figure out whether or not it's quicker or faster. It's real life, and it's happening in front of your eyes on a computer screen or a TV screen, and you can change it and see what's going to work the best. Some of the ideas we might come up with might not be the safest ideas. They might not be the best ideas for quality or the machine itself. You take all of that out by bringing those processes in to see if they'll work.
Being able to make some decisions without actually having to do the physical moving. In a facility like ours, it's not as simple as in I can move something in. It's very difficult to move something in a matter of a week. We have to plan it out. If I take away from this spot, I gotta make 6 moves to make that happen someplace else. That technology allows us to really look at things, set it up, and ensure that what we're doing is the right thing before we ever touch an area like that.
I think it will be a game changer. What if we brought this in? What if we brought this technology and used it? There was probably 3 people going, well, what if we did bring it in at the community college? And the question was, what if we don't? What if we don't bring this technology in and then our competitor does?
Every time I talk to somebody else about the system, you find out what more it can do, and it just gets you more excited. And I think that's the biggest thing is you're not buying into just one program. You have this entire system that allows you so many more avenues, and to really look into all of it. I don't know if there's a single company I've worked for so far that I couldn't have used this program on.
If the C-suite was to be able to take that technology, sit down and watch it for an hour and see how everything was laid out and how everything was planning, you could create a 3-year, 5-year, 10-year strategy from that technology and carry it out and test it.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool, very cool. Thank you so much to Mike. Thank you to Simon. I would love one of those camper vans, and a great update from Balin. Well, our next guest will share how all of the pieces from DelmiaWorks ERP to Delmia Manufacturing Solutions fit together to support the entire manufacturing process, whether you are in the front office or on the shop floor. So please welcome DelmiaWorks Partner Senior Sales Manager, Dick Longoria.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Mike, Trevor, and the wonderful panel we had up here. It was absolutely awesome information. And I'm here to speak about DelmiaWorks, Delmia Roles, and the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. But before I get started, we're going to take a little trip back into history, all the way back to 1998. 1998, you might ask, why 1998? Well, because 1998 was a fantastic year for technology. In fact, that's when Google first came out. I actually was a fan of Alta Vista, but Google really kind of took over the world, as we all know. It was also the year that the iMac came out and was the hottest technology from Apple. The PMP 300 from Diamond Rio was the latest in, music portability and mobility. And the Game Boy was available in color. Then again, 1998. Why 1998? Well, because that was the year that Bernard Charlez, president of Dassault Systems, acquired a little robotics company called Deneb. And after Bernard bought Deneb, he was asked by an industry analyst, why did you buy a robotics company? And Bernard's response was, I didn't just buy a robotics company. I bought a piece of the puzzle to Dassault's product realization platform. A piece of the puzzle to the product realization platform. So Bernard already knew what the vision of Dassault Systems was. And that little robotics company evolved into a brand responsible for all manufacturing solutions at Dassault Systems, and it's called DELMIA. And DELMIA's name actually is an acronym. It stands for Digital Enterprise, Lean Manufacturing, Interactive Application. That pretty much says it all. And when we think about what the latest talk in manufacturing has been for the last 5-10 years, digital transformation, Industry 4.0, the Industrial Internet of Things, also known as IoT, the idea of transforming paper systems to digital, of putting in principles and methodologies to gather data in real time from the manufacturing floor, the idea and the concept of creating a virtual twin. This is everything that DELMIA is all about. In addition, DELMIA Works is our manufacturing ERP and MES system, which I'll talk a little bit more in just a few minutes, but it actually is the last major piece of the puzzle that Bernard was talking about. You see, ERP and from DELMIA Works is the first ERP offering from Dassault Systems. So we'll learn a little bit more about that. Additionally, DELMIA is also full of additional roles for machine programming, fabrication, robotics, and factory flow and simulation. And of course, we cannot forget Bernard's vision about the 3DEXPERIENCE platform. So what is DELMIA Works? Well, DELMIA Works is both ERP and MES. And the ERP side of it, or Enterprise Resource Planning, are the systems and solutions that basically exist on the front office of an organization, responsible for customer management, sales, quoting, forecasting, finance and accounting, all of the things that you would find in the front office of a manufacturing environment. They also are responsible for providing real-time information to leadership. You know, how is my business doing today? Are we making money or are we losing money? We need to provide very comprehensive dashboarding for all key stakeholders, and that's what the ERP actually does. Now, the MES, or the Manufacturing Execution System, is the heart of any manufacturing organization because it lives on the manufacturing floor, and that's where everything actually happens. And the MES is responsible for providing real-time visibility of everything that's happening on the production floor at any point in time. It gathers real-time information from machines, work cells, production lines, and it also has the ability to share that information with the ERP. Additionally, it has a full set of triggers and alerts, so key stakeholders can be notified if there's machines or processes that are trending out of specification. So action can be taken to address those issues before they become a much bigger problem, or actually cause a work stoppage or even delay deliveries. Additionally, the Manufacturing Execution System also has full quality assurance capabilities to make sure that every product that leaves the business and is packaged up, shipped, and delivered meets those customer specifications. So when you think about it, when you think about ERP and MES, most customers buy ERP with the intention that it will actually run their business for them. But the ERP can't do that alone. It has no ability to do that alone. And that's why the MES is so critical to the manufacturing environment. It is what provides the ERP the visibility and the information to do what it does best. And then also, Trevor talked a little bit about these as well, is we have a multitude of roles for the mainstream manufacturing environment, which includes, CNC programming, machine code generation for fabrication, mills, lathes, mill turn, wire EDM, multi-axis machines. In fact, in the playground, we have an incredible example of a 5-axis milling actually creating an aluminum bull branded with DS that you can see in the playground. I would encourage you to go take a look at that. We also have powerful tools for robot programming, which actually is very timely for the mainstream manufacturing, with hundreds of thousands of robots going into industry every year The way that manufacturers currently put those into place is they work with a system integrator. That integrator works with the company to say, where is the robot going to go? What is it going to do? And then they provide a turnkey solution for that robot to perform those operations. But what happens when we put a robot in, or we add more, and we decide to make a change on how our manufacturing flow occurs? Well, we have a couple of choices. We can invite that system integrator back in, reprogram everything, or we have an opportunity to take advantage of the robot programmer from Delmia to program those robots on our own and take control of that capability. So we have more flexibility to make changes when and if we want to, and save an immense amount of capital in doing so. And also we have full factory flow solutions, which you saw in the video from Balin just a few minutes ago. And that leads us to the platform. You know, the product realization platform that Bernard Charles spoke about so long ago. And the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, you know, what is it? I mean, it is a platform that really gives everybody an opportunity to change the way they do business. I mean, let's face it, manufacturing is now global. You know, even though we might work in our own small community, a machine shop, a job shop, you know, medium-sized organizations, you know, the competition we're competing against is global, because there could be somebody in some other country trying to, you know, compete and bid on the jobs that we're actually working on. So whether we sell globally or not, the competition is global. And so you know, the manufacturing environment is demanding a change, you know, to meet these new needs and these new pressures. And so we have to start doing things differently, and this is what the platform does. It allows us to change that we conduct business. You know, and as an example, you know, Mike Buckley, who was up here just a few minutes ago, when he was in industry, they were working on large types of conveyor systems, moving product and sorting it and putting it in the right bins and going through all that process. And his competitors were, you know, 4, 5, 10 times larger than him. And in order to compete, he had to change the way we were doing things. And so as a Solidworks user, he turned to the platform. And this was nearly 10 years ago when he did this. And so he knew he had to quote faster. He knew that he also had to differentiate himself from these other companies. He couldn't operate as a Me Too organization. And he also wanted to appear larger than he was. And so what he did, in order to quote faster, using the SolidWorks tool sets that he had, they were able, and the platform, they were able to turn the quote time from weeks down to days, down to literally hours. And they communicated and collaborated that information to the customer via platform communities. And so they were able to provide a brand new experience for that customer. Rather than sending emails to collaborate once a job was taken and accepted, they would use a platform community. And it would document every action that was taken for that customer. And this was critical, because if there was an approval that had to happen for a change order, and it happened 9 months ago, you know, trying to find that approval in an email, we've all done it, try to find something, it's very difficult, and hopefully we didn't delete it, but it happens, right? And these chargebacks could be 10 to 12% of $1 million contracts. And because they were doing it on the platform in a community, it was all there, historically safe and secure in the cloud. And so this enabled Mike and his company to win a lot of business by changing the way that they did business and giving the customer a brand new experience. And they appeared much larger than they were, because it was something that his customers just could not provide. And so when you think about it, if Mike could do that nearly 10 years ago with the platform, imagine what you could do with the platform today. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. What a day. I hope you found this useful, inspiring, got a lot of value out of this afternoon. This was our last session for the day, but that's not it for today. We have a party tonight. But first, a little shopkeeping. Don't forget, tomorrow, 1:15 p.m. will be our last session, our big general session, back in Hall D, where we will celebrate out this 25th anniversary. And then tonight is when we go to Gillies. That event starts at 7. Buses downstairs in Hall DE on the lower level, they will go every 15 minutes. It is very important if you're going to the event tonight that you bring your badge. They will not let you in without your badge. So grab that badge, get your dancing boots. I'll see you tonight at Gillies and tomorrow in general session. Thanks so much.